Hey guys, Vazzy back here. In today's video, we are going to be breaking down the recent trade that has sent Calgary Flames defenseman Chris Tanev to the Dallas Stars. And before we actually get into everything, just want to put a disclaimer out there. I do realize that this was a 3-team trade with New Jersey retaining salary. Unfortunately, for the purposes of this video and EA not having 3-team trades, we're just going to be looking at the pieces going from Dallas to Calgary. So with that being said, let's jump into NHL 24 and see what EA thinks of the trade. So now that we're in NHL 24 and we have the trade more or less constructed to what it was in real life, the Dallas Stars will be acquiring Chris Tanev for defensive prospect Artem Grushnikov. He's defensive defenseman in game. He doesn't put up a ton of points. Personally, I have him set at a high top 6. He was a second round pick, a mid to late second round pick. But overall, I think he'll be a pretty solid NHL defenseman, but I'm not too sure how much further his ceiling is outside of that. Along with Grushnikov, they acquired a second-round pick from Dallas next year, and a third-round pick in 2026 that is conditional if Dallas wins 3 rounds in this year's Stanley Cup playoffs. And obviously going the other way is the big piece here today, that being Chris Tanev. So he is a very, very good shutdown defenseman. He's not going to be a guy who scores a lot of points for you. Looking at his defensive stats here, they're actually pretty good overall. I did actually have to lower them a bit from the season. He's fallen off just a touch, but overall he is still very, very solid and can be trusted in that shutdown role, especially in the playoff type environment when you really need guys like that, especially late in games. You're up, you have like a 1-2 goal lead, whatever. You throw a guy like Tanev out there really to shut down the game. I think he'll bring a lot of value to Dallas for sure. So sending this trade in-game from Dallas to Calgary, Calgary does say no, it's just because of the retained salary that the computer just hates to retain, even though it is an expiring deal. So I'm going to go put together some of the lines and we'll see what these teams are looking like. So first off here, looking at the Dallas Stars, obviously there's going to be no change at all to the forward core. Very stacked overall. Looking at the defensive side of things, I have Heiskanen and Tanev playing together. Heiskanen himself is just a great defensive and offensive defenseman. Tanev really can solidify the defense with him. Yanni Hakanpää, S. Lindell on the second defensive pairing, Harley and Suter on the third. So that is a very, very stacked top 6. I think they can definitely do some damage in the playoffs with that lineup for sure. And goaltending wise, obviously it's Ottinger and Wedgwood. So now let's go take a look at the Flames without Tanev. So this is more or less just going to be what the AI came up with here. Again, no changes at all on the forward side of things as no one was dealt or moved. Defensively, they still have Weegar, Anderson, Ostersley, Hanifin, Shillington, and Solovyov. So it definitely did get a little bit weaker. Who knows, maybe Hanifin's moving out here soon. But you also have to remember Calgary is looking to get younger and move out some of these players. But just in closing here, I wanted to give my thoughts on the trade. Overall, I like this trade from both sides of things. Dallas, they get their guy, they get a very, very good playoff defenseman, like I said earlier. I think they're really poised to go on a pretty long playoff run here. Even before the Tanev trade, I don't think that was anything you could really argue with. They have a very, very well-constructed roster. But from the Calgary side of this trade, I do like what they're doing. Obviously, you can't hold on to these guys if you're not going to sign them. That's why I expect a guy obviously like Hanifin, who's been in the rumor mill like crazy, to be dealt here over the next week or two here before the trade deadline. Again, like I said, Artem Grushnikov, I don't think his ceiling is as high as a guy like Bruce Wixford they got from the Canucks. Obviously 2 totally different players, one being all offense, one being all defense. But either way, it's a guy that's in your prospect pool, and who knows, maybe in the next 1 to 3 years, he's ready to come up and start playing minutes with the big club. But overall, I do think that is going to do it on this Chris Tanev trade simulation to Dallas. Definitely let me know, what did you guys think of this trade in the comments down below. I'm definitely curious to see who did you guys think won or lost this trade. But with that being said, that is going to do it for today. I will see you all in the next video.